Okay, we have a past question here, 2023. That's question number 4. Sequel to your group business plan assignment on agricultural finance analysis. The Bank of Agriculture recently approved a loan of 1.5 million naira to be spent in the ratio 3:2:1 on construction costs, recurrent costs, and miscellaneous respectively. We have the interest rate at 9%. The repayment period is 2 years and a year moratorium. Now, these are the questions. What is the economic justification for your choice of enterprise? Question B. How much will you spend on construction? Question C. How much will your miscellaneous and what are its likely components? Then question D. How much are you expected to repay per annum? Okay, before we solve the question, let's start by writing out the information that we are given in the question. Please, I want to pay attention, okay? We are given that the approved loan is 1.5 million. Approved loan is 1.5 million. 1.5 million, that is 1,500,000 naira. Do you understand? 1,500,000 naira. Okay, now that is the approved loan. The ratio in which this approved loan is to be spent on construction cost, recurrent cost, and miscellaneous is 3:2:1. That is the ratio. Okay, the ratio is let me just put it 3:2:1, and this ratio is for number one, construction cost. Hello, pay attention. The ratio that you see here is for construction cost, recurrent expenses, and miscellaneous respectively. Are you paying attention? So that means that construction cost will take 3. Construction cost, let me write this. Construction, that is 3. Recurrent cost, let me put it, recurrent cost. It can be recurrent cost or expenses, don't mind, okay? And let me put it, construction cost, this is cost, we take 3, okay? Recurrent cost, that is 2. And miscellaneous, just pay attention, okay? I'm going to explain it. Miscellaneous, OUS, that is 1. Now, the interest rate that you are given is 9%. So I'm going to have interest rates. Interest rates 9%. Okay. Now, the repayment period. Repayment period is 2 years. Repayment period is 2 years. Do you understand? So the repayment period is 2 years. Is there any additional information? Let's see. And a year moratorium. Let me explain what is meant by moratorium. You understand? Moratorium means temporary suspension or delay of the loan payment. In this time, the lender is not expected to pay any credit. Are you paying attention? And this time is usually a year after the loan payment. After the loan has been approved. Do you understand? So that is what I mean by moratorium. That is, this after the loan has been approved, the lender is not expected, though he might pay the money, he might pay some part of the money during that year, but if it's not expected, there is no necessity that he must pay. Are you paying attention? That's what I mean by moratorium. During this time, the lender the borrower, sorry, it's not the lender now. The borrower is not expected to pay the money on credit. Okay, so now let's start with the first question there. What is the economic justification of your choice of enterprise? This is like a project, you understand. You'll be divided into different groups, and each groups will work on different enterprise. You see, we have, for example, you can have catfish production enterprise, broiler production enterprise, what other enterprise like that, rabbitry, snailery, and others enterprise like that. So you are going to be divided in a group. Okay, now when you are divided, each group is going to work on each enterprise. Now the economic justification simply means why do you choose to go on this production? For example, let's compare catfish production and broiler production. If a group is in broiler production and you are in catfish production project, you are in catfish production project group. Now if you want to write your economic justification, you are going to write it in such a way that, why do I venture into this project? Why don't I choose broiler production? That will be the importance. For example, you can say because catfish, you are working on catfish, your rationale could be because the market value, there is high demand for catfish, because of the let's say because of this protein, and also you can talk about value addition in catfish, you understand. So those are the economic justification, the importance, the benefit of that project to the economics. That is what is meant by economic justification. Trust you understand. So let's say someone you are in a catfish project group. You can talk about its profitability, the market demand, that is, there is high demand for catfish. Its profitability is another reason for venturing into it. For example, catfish is profitable due to its relatively low production cost, you understand, and high feed conversion rates and efficient growth rate, you understand. And also another thing is diversification. Okay, another thing is value addition. It is possible to practice varieties of value addition in catfish. For example, we have nuggets, we have fillets, we have barbecue, we have others like that. Okay, so that is the economic justification. Do you understand? So depending on the group that you are going to tell the lecturer the reason why you ventured into that product, project. Okay, now the next question says, what is the amount to be spent on construction costs? Okay, how much are you going to spend on construction costs? This is very simple. If you are very vast with ratio, you shouldn't find this difficult to answer. Now let's calculate the amount that we are going to spend on construction costs. You see, okay, let me represent construction costs as C, okay, and recurrent costs as R, and then miscellaneous as M. Are you paying attention? The ratio of construction cost is what? 3. We have 3, we have 2, and we have 1. For miscellaneous, please pay attention, okay? If you didn't want to get confused, you have to pay attention. Now, if you are well versed with ratio, to calculate the amount that you are going to spend on construction cost, the first step is to add all the ratio. You are going to sum up all the ratio. Are you paying attention? So let us sum. The sum here will be 3 plus 2 plus 1. That is what? 6. Okay? Now we want to determine the amount that we are going to spend on construction. That means that will be the ratio of construction, the portion accrues to construction, that is the ratio, all over the sum of ratio multiplied by the approved loan. You see, I derived this formula so that you will be able to understand, okay? I derived the formula so that you will be able to understand. You see, the ratio of construction cost is 3. Is that not it? The sum of ratio is what? 6. The approved loan is what? 1,500,000. So with this, you'll be able to derive the amount that you're going to spend on construction costs. So we are going to have 3, you see, 3 all over the sum of ratio, that is all over 6 multiplied by the approved loan. The approved loan is 1.5 million naira, that is 1,500,000 naira. Do you understand? So for this, I'm going to have 1 all over 2 multiplied by 1,500,000 naira. That is equals to 750,000 naira. Okay, 750,000 naira. So this is the amount that you are going to spend on construction cost. That is the construction cost. The amount that you are going to spend on building, for example, if you are embarking on catfish production project you are going to construct a pond, like that, and you are going to construction cost is just the money that you are going to spend on constructing what you need. Those are the fixed costs, what you need for the project. If you are embarking on broiler production, you are going to build poultry pen, you understand? So that's it. So the amount that you are going to spend on construction is 750,000 naira. Okay, now let's proceed to the next question. We are told to determine the amount that you are going to spend on miscellaneous and what are its likely components. You see, miscellaneous expenses refers to the various costs that are not directly associated with the main input or operation. I pay attention. They are expenses that are not directly associated with the main input or operations, but are still essential for running out the enterprise. Example are the cost of labor, the labor cost, the transportation cost, the utilities cost such as electricity, water, the maintenance and repair cost. Those costs are not associated with they are not associated with the inputs. What are inputs? Inputs as example are feeds, they are water, others like that. But these costs are important. They are important. So that is miscellaneous expenses. For example, electricity, transportation cost, the labor cost, what next? Administrative expenses, permit license and others like that. So that's it. Those are the costs. Those are the components of miscellaneous. You understand? Now let us calculate the amount that you are going to spend on miscellaneous. I'm very sure you can do that. You just have to take the ratio of miscellaneous, then divide it by the sum of ratio and multiply it by the approved loan. So let's go. For miscellaneous, let me erase this. Okay. Now it will be ratio of miscellaneous, that is 1. So I'm going to have 1 all over the sum of ratio. The sum of ratio is what? 6. So 1 over 6 multiplied by the approved loan. The loan is what? 1.5 million naira. That is 1,500,000 naira. You understand? So the amount that is going to be spent on miscellaneous will be 250,000 naira. 250,000 naira. Do you understand? So the amount that's going to spend on miscellaneous, that is question 3. Miscellaneous cost is 250,000 naira. Okay, now the next question now says, how much are you expected to repay per annum? When you borrow the loan, for example, there is an interest that you are expected to pay on this loan. You understand? You are going to pay this loan with interest when you are paying back. I pay attention. So we want to calculate that interest. That is what we call simple interest. Okay? So simple interest is equals to principal P times rate R times time all over 100. Do you understand? We need to determine the interest that you are going to pay with this money when you are paying back. Are you paying attention? That is the interest that I want to calculate now. Okay, so simple interest is equals to principal times rate times all over 100. The principal is the amount that you borrowed. Okay, that is the principal is 1.5 million naira. Okay, the rate has been given as 9. Okay, and the time is the repayment period, that is what, 2 years. Do you understand? So I need to calculate the interest. The interest is not the total amount that you are going to pay back. The interest is the money that is the amount that the money is going to use to increase when you are paying back. That is what we call the interest. You understand? That is what we mean by interest. For example, if you borrow the loan of 500,000 naira, you are not expected to pay that 500,000 naira back. You are going to pay it with interest when you are paying back. That is what I want to calculate here. You understand? So for this, I'm going to have principal times rate times all over 100. So interest I is equals to principal. Principal is 1.5 million naira. So I'm going to have no need. Okay, let's go. Multiplied by rate. Rate is 9 multiplied by time. The time is the repayment period. That is what, 2 years. All over 100. Okay, I'm very sure you understood this. If you didn't understand, reverse the video and watch it again. Now, this zero can cancel these zeros. You understand? So I'm left with I is equals to 15,000 naira times 9 times 2. Do you understand? So 15,000 naira times 9 times 2, that is 270,000 naira. So interest is equals to 270,000 naira. This is the interest that you are going to pay with the money when you are paying back. Now, the total amount that you are going to pay is equals to the principal plus interest. You understand? Before you can determine the amount that you are going to pay per year, you have to know the total amount that you are going to pay. Okay, the amount can be calculated by summing the principal and the interest. That is the reason why I have to I first calculate the interest. You understand? So the amount, which is A, amount is equals to principal, which is P, plus interest. The principal is what? The principal is 1.5 million. 1.5 million naira plus interest. The interest that we calculate is 270,000 naira. So plus 270,000 naira. You understand? So the amount that you are going to pay back, okay, the amount that you are going to pay back is now 1,770,000 naira. 1 million. That is 1,770,000 naira. This is the total amount that you are going to pay back. Now, because you are going to pay this amount back in 2 years' time, you are going to divide this amount by 2. That is how to get the total money, the amount that you are going to be paying year by year. You understand? You see, if they gave you that the repayment period is 3, you are going to divide this amount by 3. Do you understand? So, but the repayment period is what? 2 years. So, to know the how much I'm expected to repay per annum, that is year by year, I'm going to divide it by what? 2. Do you understand? So amount to be paid year by years. This is question 3. This is question 2. So this is question 4. Okay. Amount to be repaid year by year will be now amount to be repaid per annum. Amount per annum will now be 1 1,770,000 naira all over 2. Now, if you punch your calculator, this divided by 2, that will give us 885,000 naira. Okay, that is 885,000 naira. This is the amount that you are expected to repay per annum. I'm very sure you understood this. Please, if you didn't understand, reverse the video and watch it again. Okay, it's simple. I cannot determine the amount without calculating the interest, because amount is equal to what? Principal plus interest. And when I calculate the interest, I got what? 270,000 naira. Then I sum it with the principal. I got what? 1,770,000 naira. And because the repayment period is what? 2. So I divide the amount, that's the total amount that I'm going to pay, by 2, which is the number of years. This is the money. This is the amount I'm expected to repay per annum. Do you understand? Okay. Now let's proceed to the 5th question. Okay, question 5. Suppose the project manager was given a different expenditure of 2:1:1 for construction costs, recurrent expenses, and miscellaneous respectively. What could have been the likely justification for this new ratio? That's question A. Question B. How much will be spent on construction, recurrent expenses, and miscellaneous? And then we have C. What is the justification of moratorium in agricultural financing? Before we solve any question, let's start by writing out the information that we are given in the question.